Hey everybody, Miss Dietrich here. We're taking a look at a very difficult question, but we're gonna just dissect a little bit and make it a little less intimidating. So question 9 says, select the expression that represents the perimeter, and they show a bunch of different expressions down here, which should suggest to you that we really need to first come up with an expression where we're adding up all the numbers, because that's what perimeter is. You have to add up all the sides, and then we have to simplify the expression. So let's just keep track of everything that we're writing. So we have x is one of the sides, so let's write that first, x. And then we have another side that's x plus x. Then we have a side that's 3/2 x. Then we have half x. Then we have 5/2 x. And then finally we have 3/2 x. All right, so it's always a good idea to count how many sides you have and make sure you have all the sides represented. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 values here. So we're in good shape. We have everything written down. All right, so the next thing is to combine like terms. Now, one of the things that I'm hoping that you noticed is that everything, they're all like terms because they all have the variable x. Now, another reminder that I want to give you is that whenever we have a variable and there's no coefficient, there's a secret coefficient of 1 in front of it. So that would be true here, and it would also be true here. However, because we're trying to combine a bunch of fractions all with the denominator of a half, then what we're going to do is we're going to rethink 1 as something else. So I want to give you some reminders about what are some values that are equal to 1. Did you know that 1 is equal to 1 over 1, or 1 divided by 1, or 2 divided by 2, or 3 divided by 3, or 4 divided by 4, etc.? I can just keep going on. These are all equivalents to 1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to choose this equivalent of 1. Why? Because we're working with halves. So now that I've said that, let's replace this one and this one with their equivalents, which are 2/2. 2/2 is equal to 1. Now, that might not make sense why we're doing that yet, but it will in just a moment, because keep in mind we're combining like terms. All right, now notice that now we have all denominator of 2 for all of our coefficients, which is great because we know we're going to have something halves x. Now, how do we get the something? We have to add up all the numerators. So we have 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 5 plus 3. So sometimes it's a good idea to kind of chunk things up that work in your head. So, let's say you're going to add up these. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 3. Now we're up to 7, and that's 8. And then this is also 8/2. So if we take 8/2 and 8/2, then don't we get 16/2? Or just add up all the yellow numerators. That all adds up to be 16/2. All right, now this fraction is not in simplest form. We can divide 16 divided by 2 and get a whole number answer, and we end up getting 8x. And we have that as a choice, don't we? So we're going to pick that. All right, now the second part of this, because this is question number 9, question number 10 gives us the same exact figure, only now they want us to find the perimeter if x equals 4. In other words, evaluate for x equals 4. Now what we could have done is we could have taken the value of 4 and substituted it in to this blue expression that we had earlier. We could have done that, but that would have been a little bit of a hot mess, and we probably would make a lot of computation errors. So what you should always do anytime you see these types of problems is you always want to take the simplified version, because remember, this expression here, this green expression, is equivalent to the blue expression that we originally wrote just a few moments ago. They're equivalent. So if they're equivalent, then that means that for any value for x that we may substitute in, we would get the same answer for the two different expressions. So for question number 10, we're going to use the simplified version of the expression of 8x. That's going to make our life a lot easier to figuring out the perimeter of this thing when we substitute in this value for x. So that's the next step. We're going to write x, substitute in the value for x that we're getting from right here, and the only thing left you have to do is multiply 8 times 4 and come up with that numeric value and look to see which one matches in the answer choice lineup. All right, good luck finishing that up.